You say you want to live a long, meaningful life with lots of friends. You always talk about wanting to eat healthy and feel energized. You talk about aging gracefully and keeping your youth. But words lie. Behavior and actions never lie. From what I see, your behavior tells me that you want to age faster. You want to feel lethargic and have no meaning in your life. I'm going to tell you 5 things that will help you age way faster than you could have ever imagined. The first thing you want is AGEs. Not ages, the word, but AGEs. AGE stands for Advanced Glycation End Products. Everyone consumes them all the time. AGEs are something that accumulates naturally as you age and are created when certain foods are cooked at high temperatures. For example, grilling, frying, or toasting creates a large number of AGEs. This one goes out to Uncle Charlie, who would basically grill his hamburgers like a hockey puck. You know, the guy who likes his steak burnt to a crisp. AGEs harm the body by promoting oxidative stress and inflammation. High levels of AGEs have been linked to diabetes, heart disease, kidney failure, and Alzheimer's, as well as premature aging, which, bingo! For our goal, this is probably the simplest and fastest way to age faster. Your body has natural ways to get rid of AGEs, but in the modern diet and food world, this is everywhere. Continue barbecuing your food like a caveman if you would like to age faster from AGEs. You're going to want to completely avoid Glucose Goddess's advice if you want to age faster. She regularly talks about not spiking your blood sugar as soon as you begin to eat. Start with putting veggies into your stomach, then protein, then consume carbs and sugary foods. This way your blood glucose doesn't have a huge spike. But you are going to want to do the opposite. Order your steak extra well done, burn the toast, no problem, eat it anyway. Above, I'll link to an interview I had with a Japanese doctor who explains all of this in detail on my channel. Now, the traditional Okinawan diet consisted of steaming, low-temp slow cooking, and boiling, so you'll want to completely avoid the Okinawan diet. For those of us trying to age faster, you should just eat the modern-day American diet in all its fried glory. Remember, AGEs equals aging. That's pretty easy to remember. The second thing you're going to want to do to age faster is consistently overeat. Every time you eat until you are so full you can't even think anymore.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, where have I heard that before?
This is actually what I did growing up because, as they say, people are starving all over the world, so finish your plate, right? Not to mention the standard American portions are substantially larger than most of the world. Every single time you overeat, like AGEs, oxidative stress increases. This damages cells, proteins, and DNA, contributing to aging processes. Overeating, especially unhealthy, high-calorie foods, can trigger chronic low-grade inflammation in the body. Persistent inflammation is associated with accelerated aging and age-related diseases like heart disease and diabetes. Also, the shortening of telomeres. Telomeres are protective caps at the end of chromosomes that shorten, and shortened telomeres are considered a marker of cellular aging. So for us, the shorter the better. Countless studies have proven that overeating and obesity are associated with accelerated telomere shortening. The Okinawans practice harahachibu, which is the act of eating until you are 80% full. So whatever you do, ignore the practice of harahachibu. Eat until you make the sound where you let out a long breath and moan and say, I couldn't eat another bite. But do this regularly, not once a year, every day. You'll notice the difference fairly quickly. Stress and inflammation are the golden keys to premature aging, and isolation could not be better for that. Social isolation leads to chronic stress, which triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol. It is produced in all of us, including animals, specifically for survival. Cytokines, on the other hand, are a broad type of proteins that act as a humoral regulators. Humoral meaning immunity coming from bodily fluids. So the list goes on and on. Social isolation is associated with an increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia. What do? Stay at home. Be alone. Don't go and hang out with friends. Even more importantly, cancel on your friends after making plans with them just so you can avoid them enough so they may never try to make plans with you again in the future. sit on the couch and watch TV for hours on end. Ironically, on the exact opposite side of life, if you want to age faster, be constantly on the move. What better way to age faster than to just never take a break? Never meditate, never take a breath, none of that. I want you to imagine a mother who is always on the go with kids and always complaining about how she doesn't even get time to shave in the shower or doesn't have time to sit down with a good book. Or your best friend who you want to hang out with but is so busy with her work. Fill up your schedule to the brim with work, errands, and taking care of other people. The goal here is to be so busy you can't even take a second to realize how busy you even are. You should just barely be able to sleep. Like enough to function sort of, but never really be productive. Check out this research all right here. Bam, 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 bam. If you could just pick one word from this entire video to remember and then speed up your aging process, that one word would be just stress. It's so easy in 2024. So never have time for yourself to breathe and build up that sleep debt. The aging process will thank you. Last but not least, letting the world happen to you. Never, and I mean never, search for your ikigai. An ikigai is the Japanese term for the purpose of one's life. Take this paragraph from a research paper about the study of having an ikigai and its effects on health. Studies in the US and Europe have reported that the negative psychological factors, as represented by factors such as low subjective sense of well-being, dissatisfaction, hopelessness, and self-perception of ill health, were associated with the increased risk of all-cause mortality. The association between the negative psychological factors and the mortality risk has been reported to be independent of the objective health status, socioeconomic status, or the health-related lifestyle. In Japanese culture, having a sense of life worth living, or ikigai, is the most commonly used indicator of subjective well-being. The sense of life worth living, ikigai, does not merely reflect on an individual's psychological factors, well-being, hopes, but also an individual's consciousness of the motivation for living, because it has a meaning akin to having a purpose in life and reason for living. I don't know if you have ever felt emptiness, but I have. I have a video where I talk about how depressed I was when I came to Japan, and because of many reasons, but the biggest one being my lack of ikigai. The feeling of emptiness is indescribable. It is terrible. It's worse than a busy all-day, everyday schedule or the stomach pain of extreme overeating. Take it from me. If you know of something more draining than a lack of purpose, feel free to let me know in the comments. I am glad to discuss this with you. Any of the things mentioned throughout this video will help you age faster. Do them, follow this plan to the letter, and you'll look like a naked mole rat before you know it.